Crocus! Crocus, young hand! He hesitated and then said, I was once a thief. Be one again, said Karsa, teeth bared, and steal me a hound's life this night. How's it going today, Book Bros? I'm Belchi, and this is a book. Coincidentally, it's the same book we're going to be talking about today. That's right, we're on another Malazan book. We're talking about book 8 of Malazan. That's right, Toll the Hounds, baby. Toll the Hounds! Oh, oh, oh! I love this book, okay? There are so many people out there who say, Toll the Hounds is just not a good book. Toll the Hounds is just so boring. Toll the Hounds is a work of art, okay? I never expected to like Malazan as much as I do. I never expected to be thinking about Malazan as much as I am. And I never expected to fall in love with these characters as much as I have. So it's just mind-boggling to me personally. But I'm here, and I'm so happy that I've taken this journey so far. Toll the Hounds is probably the least amount of fun I've had with a book in such a long time, but it is my new favorite Malazan book. This book is depressing, man. Erikson puts his characters on a track, and they know they're on a track, so they'll talk about this track that's headed to a fiery pit of doom, and they'll just ride it. They'll just ride the track. Because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do against the fate of gods? Okay, I'm a little worked up. One thing you'll notice about Toll the Hounds is that it's a lot more philosophical than all of Malazan previously, and it's also narrated. And because we're going back to Darujhistan, who's it narrated by? Well, none other than lovely old Kruppe. Now I get why this book is divisive. Kruppe himself is a divisive character. People love him, people hate him. I fall right in the middle. There are points where I'm like, Kruppe, I don't need your bullshit. Go away. And there are other days where I'm like, I love Kruppe. I could read his chapters all damn day. I didn't get the option, okay? I didn't get the option for not liking Kruppe for Toll the Hounds. This is a big beefy book, okay? I ended up loving Kruppe at the end of this, especially his little battle with Iskarul Pust. So going into this book, it felt really different. It felt like a big switch up from the status quo. And I can tell why some people don't vibe with it, why some people don't like it. But for me personally, it breathed new life into this series, and it made this entry a lot more fun to go through. The different style of writing and how I felt like I was being talked directly to by Kruppe. Alright, so I do a little bit of research on every Malazan book I go into just to see where the fan base temperature is, whether they like it or whether they don't like it. But when I was reading about Toll the Hounds, a lot of people said it is home to the biggest climax in Malazan as a whole. I'm a fool, so I neglected to believe that. I was like, whatever. It's not even the last book. It's book 8, okay? How can it be that big? I have done a lot of thinking on how to put this into words, and I landed on Toll the Hounds climax blew my butthole apart. That's the most accurate description of how I felt. It blew my butthole right apart. Because there is just so many reveals in this climax that are just a lot. It's just a lot to handle. I get the feeling that Malazan is only gonna be more and more depressing as we go on, because Erikson doesn't seem like the type of person to go, hey, you know what? I've been throwing meteors at these guys. I've been giving them famine and plague and, you know, just putting them through the ringer altogether. So why don't I just give them a happy ending? Like, I feel like they've earned a happy ending. No, I'm pretty sure Steven Erikson is just going to be like, hey, all these characters you really like, they're dead. That's my guess. And Toll the Hounds, the atmosphere and the tone of this book kind of they don't confirm it, but they only push that belief further. Because this is not a happy book. My last pro for this book is returning to Darujhistan. It's been so long since I've been in this city. And when I came back, I was like, oh, it feels just like home. I'm here. I'm back. Belchie's on a vacation to Darujhistan. And then all the characters from Gardens of the Moon started coming out of the woodworks, and it felt so cool. It felt nostalgic, which is amazing. Amazing that I can feel nostalgic for a fictional world that I do not live in, but I wish I did. Actually, I don't wish I lived in Malazan. That'd be really scary. And I think that Erikson's really good at returning to an environment and making you feel like things have changed, but not too much that it feels unrecognizable. The last time that we saw this city was in book 3 for a very brief period of time. So, I mean, it's nice to be back in the city of blue flames, baby. Alright, so here are some of the things I didn't like about Toll the Hounds. This climax is so large that sometimes it feels like Erikson's just ripping you out of action just to put you somewhere else. And I felt a little jarred by that at times, because it was like, hey, there's something really important happening here. Can I stay here? And Erikson just grabs me by the scruff of my neck and was like, no! You're gonna watch this now! The final thing I have to say about this book is I wish the Darujhistan characters had gotten a better send-off. I know that Orb Scepter Throne is written to tie up a lot of the loose ends in this book, but I just wish that Erikson had have done a little more work to do that himself, instead of just pass a lot of it off to Ian C. Esselmar. Toll the Hounds is my favorite Malazan read, by far. It's just got everything that I could have possibly wanted. It's got the return of my favorite characters, it's got the return of my favorite setting, it's got a climax that is just out of this world, bonkers, balls to the wall, just floor me to the ground, just knock my socks around the room and put them back on my feet. That's Toll the Hounds. It's a lot of... and then it's a lot of, oh my god! Well, that's been my review of Toll the Hounds. I hope you liked it. If you didn't, well then I'm very sorry to have wasted your time. If you like what I do here, consider subscribing. And before we go, I just have a quick reading from Toll the Hounds itself. This one goes out to all the people picking up Malazan, or thinking about picking up Malazan. This passage, it spoke to me because this is kind of what it feels like to read a Malazan book. You choose the most perilous path. There is poison, there is bitter cold, ice stained with foreign blood. There is fire that binds those who wield it. There is wind that cries, an eternal death cry. There is darkness, and it is crowded. There is grief, even more than you can withstand. There is yielding, and that which will not yield. Will you still walk Byrne's path, reader? Or will you live in fear?